Hello students, how are you? Welcome to AriserTalent. Today we are going to discuss chapter natural resources. If we talk about resources, in resources means some supply of something. Okay, and natural means something is supplying by nature. Thus we can say that natural resources means material available in the atmosphere which are useful to the living organisms. Okay, so let's discuss. Resources means supply of something. Supply of something. Okay, and natural resources means materials which are available in the environment and are useful to the living organism. Thus we can say natural resources are the natural resources are the materials which are available in the environment and are useful to living organisms. Okay. So this is the gift to the living organisms, that they have something to use. Okay. Now natural resources are of two types, physical resources and biological resources. They are categorized in two groups. Physical resources contains all the air, water, soil, okay, coal, petroleum which we use. Okay, and biological resources means all the fungi and other living organisms. So let's discuss that living organisms are of two types, physical resources and biological resources. Okay, so examples of physical resources are air, water, soil, coal, petroleum. These are available naturally. Air, water, soil, coal, petroleum. Okay, so these are available in the environment naturally and they are useful to living organisms. Okay, so they are natural resources. If we talk about biological resources, then all the microorganisms, clear, protist, fungi, plants and animals. Okay, so they are natural resources, they develop themselves. Okay, now as we all know, in the all living organisms only the human has power to think. Now what they do, they utilize their mental ability and they think about more and more about the environment and they try to utilize all the natural resources for their benefits. Okay, now what happens, sometimes it happens that they are using these natural resources in excessive. Why? Because of the increase of the population, urbanization and technological development. Okay, but anyway somewhere it is harming the environment. Okay, so they should use the environmental, means these natural resources which are available to them, they should use them carefully. Fine. Now let's talk about the classification of natural resources. Natural resources are classified into two groups on the basis of their organic composition, means we can say on the basis of their chemical composition, whether they are organic, they are inorganic or they are mixed, and on the basis of their availability. Then we can say classification. Next topic is classification of natural resources. Okay, then natural resources are categorized into two groups: inexhaustible resources, or we can say inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources. Okay, if we talk about inexhaustible natural resources, then they are occurred naturally. Okay, they are occurred in excessive amount. They are present in unlimited. They are so they cannot exhaust. They cannot, or we can say these cannot exhaust. Okay, they are available in. They are unlimited. Okay, so we can use them anyway. And what are the examples? Things or resources? Then they are solar energy, okay, it will not exhaust. Solar energy, air, water. Okay, you can use them in excess matter, but it will not exhaust. They are unlimited. If we talk about exhaustible resources, means they are limited. They can be exhaust. They are limited. Okay, if we talk about exhaustible resources, then they are limited. They can be exhausted. Means if you will use them in excess, then they can be finished, they can be over, they can be exhaust. Okay, then again it is categorized again two group: renewable resources. Okay, renewable resources means they can replenish themselves by recycling. Okay, and another is non-renewable resources, means they cannot renew or replenish themselves. Another is non-renewable resources. Okay, means they cannot replenish themselves by recycling. Renewable resources means they can replenish themselves. That's why they are called renewable resources. They can replenish themselves very quickly. Okay, and they include both the living and non-living things. They include both living and non-living things. So, what are the examples of renewable resources? Like soil, wildlife. Example, soil. Okay, then wildlife, natural vegetation, Okay, so you need not to do anything, they will replenish themselves very quickly, like soil, wildlife and natural vegetation. If we talk about non-renewable resources, then they cannot replenish themselves. they cannot replenish themselves. Okay, and it includes only the known living things. Only known living things. Like example, fossil fuels like coal and petroleum. Clear? So, classification of natural resources is based on two things: chemical composition and availability. On the basis of chemical composition, whether they are organic, whether they are inorganic, or they are composed, or they are mixed. Okay, and on the basis of their availability, then they are of two types: inexhaustible and exhaustible. Inexhaustible resources means they cannot exhaust, they are unlimited, like solar energy, air and water. Exhaustible resources, these are limited, they can be exhausted. Again, they are of two types: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. They can replenish themselves. They include both living things and non-living things, like living thing, wildlife, natural vegetation, and if we talk about non-living thing, that is soil. It will form itself by the breaking down of rocks. Okay, the non-renewable resources, they cannot replenish themselves, like fossil fuels, coal and petroleum. Now next we will talk about composition of air and atmosphere. Now let's talk about our next topic, that is air. Okay, so let's talk about air. As we know, air is mixture of many gases. Okay, and life is possible only on the earth because of the air. As the air is present, it contains many gases including dust particles, water vapor, and it makes life possible only on the earth, as it's not available on any other planet. Okay, so let's talk about air. Means it's a mixture of many gases. It's the mixture of many gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, okay, dust particle, and water vapor. Can you see air? No, we cannot see air, means it's invisible. We can feel it, but we cannot see it, and it's tasteless, it's odorless. So another property of air we can say that it's invisible, tasteless, odorless. Okay, so these are the property of air. Every living being needs air to survive, like whether they are plants, they are animals, they all need air to survive. Okay, like it's very important for the respiration and photosynthesis. So another property we can say it's very important for respiration and photosynthesis. Okay, as I told you, it's very important for respiration and photosynthesis. This is the reason life is possible only on the earth, because if the air is present in the on the earth surface, then plants can take it for the photosynthesis. They give food to the animals to survive. Okay, same happens with the plants and animals, they both need oxygen and carbon dioxide. As plants need carbon dioxide for breathing and for making photosynthesis, animals need oxygen. So, if the air is present, then only the life is possible, otherwise it's not. Okay, thus we can say it's important for respiration and photosynthesis. Okay, then as I told you, life is possible only on the earth, means we have air all around us. So, this surrounding is known as atmosphere, means the blanket or the envelope of air around the earth's surface is known as atmosphere. So, let us discuss different layers of atmosphere. Next topic is atmosphere. What is atmosphere, children? Atmosphere means an envelope of air around the earth. Atmosphere means an envelope of air. As I told you, air is mixture of many gases. So, an envelope of air around the earth. Okay. So, if we talk about different layers of atmosphere, atmosphere mainly has 4 layers. Near the earth's surface, where we live. Okay. So, near the earth's surface, there is troposphere, means from the earth's surface till about 16 kilometer, there is troposphere. From earth's surface, if we talk about this troposphere, means all the changes in the weather occurs here, like formation of clouds, rain, etc., thundering, raining, all happens, all the climate changes occurs here in the troposphere. And the lower layer of troposphere contains all the main gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay. So, if we talk about troposphere, then what are the features? Means all the climate change occurs here. Okay. And another main point is that it contains all the important gases in the excessive amount. Troposphere contains all the gases, including dust particles, whatever, everything. Okay, if we go above the troposphere, that is stratosphere. Another layer of atmosphere is stratosphere. Means from about to 16 kilometer and till 50 kilometer. Thus, we can say from 16 kilometer till 50 kilometer, there the another, means we can say second layer of atmosphere is stratosphere. All the flights, means aeroplanes, fly in this layer because it is free from clouds. It's free from clouds. So, aeroplanes fly here. Clear? As we go above the stratosphere, then there is the third layer, that is mesosphere. Okay. Then from 50 to 80 kilometer is mesosphere. 50 kilometer to 80 kilometer. Okay, when the meteoroids enter in the atmosphere, then they get burned here and this layer do not allow them to reach on the earth's surface. Meteoroids get born here. Okay, as we go above mesosphere, then from 80 to 400 kilometer, there is the another fourth layer, that is thermosphere. Thermosphere. From 80 kilometer to 400 kilometer. Okay, all the radio transmissions, it helps in radio transmission, means all the activities of radio transmissions helps in radio transmission. Okay, as the name is thermosphere, means temperature is very high here. Temperature, or we can say high temperature. Okay, and as we go above the thermosphere, there is another layer. Generally we do not count it, we know we call it as exosphere. Okay, it does not contain any air, or we can say it has a very little or thin layer of air. Generally it contains hydrogen or helium. If we talk about the exosphere, generally we do not count this layer, we count only 4 layers of atmosphere. Okay, then above the 80 kilometer, sorry, above 400 kilometer, when we go higher up in the atmosphere above the 400 kilometer, then there is a very little air or thin layer of air. Thin layer of air generally contains hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen and helium. Hope it's clear to you all that we have generally 4 main layers of atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere. Okay, and near the earth surface we have troposphere. All the essential gases are found here. Okay, and all the climate changes like raining, formation of clouds, thundering, okay, everything, all the climate changes occur here only. As we go higher, then another layer is stratosphere. Okay, generally also known as ozone layer, because it has ozone sheet. Okay, it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. It also protects, also known as ozone sheet. Okay, and protects from harmful UV rays. Okay, as we go higher up from about to 50 kilometer, then there is a third layer, that is known as mesosphere. It is up to the 80 kilometer. When meteorites enter in the atmosphere, they get burned here. Okay, so this layer does not allow them to reach on the earth surface. As we go high up in the atmosphere from above 80 kilometer till 400 kilometer, there is another, means fourth layer of atmosphere. This is known as thermosphere. It helps in radio transmission and it has a very high temperature. As we go high from the 400 kilometer, then there is a very little amount of air. Generally this layer is known as exosphere. Generally we do not count it in the atmosphere, and it contains hydrogen and helium. Now we will discuss about the different functions of the atmosphere. So let's talk about the functions of this atmosphere. As I told you, atmosphere is the blanket of air. Okay, so if we talk about the functions of atmosphere. Okay, so first function As I told you, atmosphere is the blanket or envelope of air which surrounds the earth. Okay, so first function is it work as a blanket. Okay, so we can say it work as a protective blanket. First function is protective blanket. As I told you here, that layer of atmosphere protects the protects the earth from the harmful UV rays and protects the earth from these meteorites from falling on the earth. Thus we can say that atmosphere work as a protective blanket. Okay, so we can say it protects earth from harmful UV rays and other cosmic rays. Okay. Another, if we talk about another function of atmosphere, then it act as a reservoir. It act as a reservoir. How it act as a reservoir? Then it contains many elements like oxygen, carbon dioxide, dust particle, water vapor. Okay, so first if we talk about the oxygen. If we talk about oxygen, then this oxygen is used for cell respiration. Okay, it is used for cell respiration. Cell respiration means it helps in the breaking down of glucose and to get energy, then this energy is used for many activities. Okay, so all the living organisms use the oxygen for cell respiration. Another, if we talk about oxygen, then it is also used for combustion. Okay, like woods need, if we want to burn the woods, then woods need oxygen to burn, and all the fossil fuels need oxygen to burn and to release carbon dioxide. Another, if we talk about forest fire, sometimes it happens that forest fire occurs without any human activity, then it also need oxygen to release carbon dioxide. Thus we can say that oxygen is needed for cell respiration, combustion and forest fire. Another element is carbon dioxide. Okay, so then this carbon dioxide is used by plants to do photosynthesis. Okay, this is used by plants for photosynthesis. Clear? And some marine water animals, some aquatic animals which live in sea also need carbonate to form their shells. Okay, next, if we talk about next function of atmosphere, beside the protective layer and reservoir, it also act as I told you that in the atmosphere, in the troposphere, it helps in many climate changes. So the main another function of the atmosphere is climate change. It helps in climate change. Okay, all the climate change like formation of clouds, raining, thundering, all these happens in the atmosphere. So it helps causing all these climate change. Another function of atmosphere, that it helps in dispersal of seeds. When the air current blows, then it helps the dispersal of seeds and spores from one place to another. Then we can say air current helps in dispersal of spores and seeds from one place to another. Okay, so what are the functions of atmosphere? Functions of atmosphere are protective blanket, means it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays, and it acts as a reservoir. It contains many elements in it like oxygen, carbon dioxide. These are very important and these help us to survive on the earth. Okay, like oxygen is used in cell respiration, combustion and forest fire, and carbon dioxide is mainly it is used by the plants for the process of photosynthesis. Climate change, all the climate change like formation of clouds, thundering, lightning, all happens in the atmosphere, in the layer of atmosphere, and this is caused by the atmosphere only. Air current help in the dispersal of spores and seeds from one place to another. Okay.